So ladies and gentlemen, tonight is a very important night. Not only is it Canada Day, but for the very first time, a resident of the City of Côte Saint-Luc, our very own Member of Parliament, Irwin Cotler, is being inaugurated onto our Human Rights Walkway. Donc, on va commencer avec une vidéo. We're going to start with the video.
I've known Irwin Cotler in two different capacities. First, he was my professor at law school,
so I got to know him as a teacher. Secondly, I've known him as the Member of Parliament for Mount Royal for the last 15 years, during a period where I've served as a mayor and before that as a city councillor. Each and every interaction I've had with Irwin Cotler has impressed me. The man not only shows a dynamic and keen intellect, but also he has a real human side. He has the capacity to care about people, which is the hallmark of any politician. Côte Saint-Luc is proud to honor Irwin Cotler on our Human Rights Walkway, partially for his work as a Member of Parliament. A pioneer in human rights in so many ways, Irwin Cotler was the Minister of Justice when finally gay and lesbian Canadians were allowed to marry officially and legally in this country through an act of Parliament. But also for the work that he's done outside the parliamentary realm. Irwin Cotler est quelqu'un qui est connu non seulement ici, au Côte Saint-Luc, au Canada, mais quelqu'un qui est connu dans le monde, parce que même avant qu'il était un membre du Parlement pour des décennies, il a bataillé pour les droits humains partout dans le monde. C'était un pionnier dans la bataille pour la libération des Juifs dans l'Union soviétique. Il était un avocat pour Nelson Mandela, qui était le symbole de la fin d'apartheid en Afrique du Sud. C'est quelqu'un qui a bataillé pour les prisonniers de conscience en Iran et partout dans le monde. Et on est fiers d'inaugurer Irwin Cotler parce que Irwin Cotler est non seulement un grand homme canadien, mais il habite ici, à Côte Saint-Luc. I'm also very proud to announce that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council has decided
to name an award after Irwin Cotler. Starting next year, and for each and every year thereafter, all of the schools in the city of Côte Saint-Luc will be asked to nominate one of their students to receive the Irwin Cotler Award. It will be given to the student who best exemplifies the concept of tikkun olam,
meaning someone who's out there trying to improve the world, better the world, and fight for social justice and equality. These are the concepts that I think about when I think about Irwin Cotler, and I'm so happy that students next year and in years forward will get to know the work of Irwin Cotler, not only by seeing his plaque here on the Human Rights Walkway, but also by knowing each year when this award goes out that this is what Irwin Cotler stood for.
Before I decided to run, and when I decided to run, I did visit with his father, Pierre-Louis Trudeau. And I never forgot the advice that he gave. And he said to me, you may have to sometimes compromise on issues of policy, but never, never compromise on issues of principle. Never compromise. Never compromise on values and on issues of value. And I've tried always to remember and to live up to that.
Mr. Speaker, Mandela's emergence after 28 years in a South African prison is an enduring source of inspiration and hope, demonstrating the transformative impact of freeing political prisoners. I invite colleagues in the House to join me in calling for the release of these 3 political prisoners, to let them know that they are not alone, that we stand in solidarity with them, that their cause is our cause, the cause of freedom. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For in our day, more than ever, qui s'excuse, s'accuse. Whoever remains indifferent indicts themselves. May this day be not only a day and act of remembrance, which it is, but let it be a remembrance to act on behalf of humanity and against inhumanity, as it must be. father of blessed memory taught me before I even understood the profundity of his words as a young boy, when he would say to me that the pursuit of justice is equal to all the other commandments combined. This, as he put it, this is what you should teach onto your children. This should be your life's credo. But as my mother, when listening to my father tell me these words, would then say to me with a profundity that resonates with me to this day, she would say, if you want to pursue justice, you have to understand, you have to feel the injustice about you. You have to go in and about your community and beyond and feel the injustice, combat the injustice, act against that injustice.
So, ladies and gentlemen, every year when we inaugurate someone to the Human Rights Walkway, it's with great pride that Council and I do this, because we're bringing someone who has done something great for human rights to the attention of the people of Côte Saint-Luc. But tonight, I'm prouder than ever before to inaugurate someone to the Human Rights Walkway, because Irwin Cotler has brought Côte Saint-Luc and what we stand for to the world. And before I introduce our honoree Irwin Cotler, j'aimerais demander à David Birnbaum, notre député de l'Assemblée nationale, de prononcer quelques mots. David?
Bonsoir et bonne fête le Canada à tout le monde. Welcome. It's such an immense privilege, first of all, to represent the people of this wonderful city, and an honor on Canada Day to be able to pay tribute to Irwin Cotler as well. I have the prerogative of having considered him a mentor for many, many years. I now have the privilege of considering him a dear friend. Que le Québec soit en mesure, comme la ville de Côte Saint-Luc, de compter parmi nous un citoyen du monde qui a mis à l'œuvre les valeurs essentielles, pas juste à notre bien, c'est notre bien aussi, mais pour jouer un rôle clé dans la libération de plusieurs personnes qui ont lutté pour la liberté dans des circonstances très très difficiles. We should be humbled and honored to know that Irwin, as part of this community, has played a key role in bringing justice not just to us and to Canada, but to the world. I feel very privileged as a politician to know that someone of Irwin's stature chose as one of the avenues to play this essential role, politics. It's a little too often and a little too facile that we talk about politics as something expedient, as a way of personal profit and so on. If someone of Irwin's stature understands that politics is a vehicle by which to do good on behalf of the people we serve, you, well, that gives me some pride and hope to be sharing that vocation with him. En tout cas, mes félicitations à la ville de Côte Saint-Luc pour avoir fait ce geste formidable qui vous appartient maintenant. Et au nom du Premier ministre du Québec, je vous salue lors de la fête du Canada. Happy Canada Day on behalf of the Premier and Kol Hakavod, Irwin. Thank you very much.
And now, it gives me great pleasure to call upon my old law professor, our member of parliament, and someone that I'm honored to call a mentor, Irwin Cotler.
Merci Anthony, merci David pour les chaleureuses bienvenue et bonne fête à tous. I'm delighted to be here. I have to say this is a very moving moment for me. And I take this induction to be in recognition of the cases and causes that I've had the privilege to be involved in, and on behalf of the political prisoners that have inspired me as they've inspired all of us over the years, et de rendre hommage à cette comté arc-en-ciel où j'ai grandi, où j'habite et où j'ai travaillé avec tous ici dans la cause commune qui nous rassemble, la cause pour les droits de la personne. I'm especially moved, and I'm going to conclude with these remarks, to be inducted into a Human Rights Walkway in Pierre Elliott Trudeau Park. And one of the first things in that video was the important message that I received from Pierre Trudeau just before I entered Parliament, when he said that you can always compromise on matters of policy, but never compromise on matters of principle, something which has guided me always. And in that Human Rights Walkway are the names and the histories of people who've had a transformative impact on our lives and have had a transformative impact on my own advocacy. I'll mention some of them for reasons of brevity. The first is René Cassin, the Nobel Peace Laureate, a human rights hero whom I first met in 1968, whose writings and advocacy had a profound influence on my own life and work, and where last year McGill gave me the honor of being able to deliver the René Cassin Lectureship in Human Rights. Another person whom you will see there is Raoul Wallenberg, the hero of humanity, the disappeared hero of the Holocaust, a person who showed how any one of us with the compassion to care and the courage to act can confront evil, can resist evil, can overcome evil, and thereby transform history. I regret only that the man who saved so many was not saved by so many who could. And we still have yet to determine the truth of what happened to Raoul Wallenberg, and that must continue to be our mission. A third person who's amongst those there is the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada, Antonio Lamer, who was there with the most important jurisprudence interpreting the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And as he said of the Canadian Charter in bequeathing this legacy to us, he said, the Charter is a legal revolution which has transformed not only our laws, but has transformed our lives. And as he concluded, it is equal in its revolutionary impact to the revolution of Pasteur in science. And I will close with two other people, both of whom from South Africa, who had a profound impact. One was Helen Suzman, one of the early anti-apartheid activists, who became a comrade of Nelson Mandela, who had visited him in prison. And when I was in South Africa in 1981, there on behalf of Mandela was arrested and detained, it was Helen Suzman who came to my support. And I will conclude with regard to Nelson Mandela, because there is a lesson that he has left us that is something that is so universal, that is so compelling. And as I said on the occasion of speaking on his behalf in the House of Commons on Mandela's behalf, that here is a person who endured 28 years in a South African prison and came out to preside over the dismantling of apartheid and usher in a democratic, non-racial, egalitarian South Africa without rancor or revenge, and with generosity of spirit to all. It was this same Nelson Mandela whom we made a second honorary citizen of Canada after Raoul Wallenberg was our first, whom I've had the privilege to be a member of his international legal team, and who, as I said, has inspired us all, as Raoul Wallenberg has, with his courage, with his commitment, and his ability to transform the lives of people all over the world. So thank you for this honor. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some stories about those who are in that human rights walkway. When we go through it, remember, these are all human rights heroes. These are people who transformed history, and thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Irwin, for those inspiring words. I think we all saw what a great speaker Irwin Cotler is. But he's more than a great speaker because he's able to put words to deeds. And that's something we all need to aspire to. So now I'd like to invite all of the members of council to join with me and David Birnbaum and Irwin to unveil the plaque that is going to go on our Human Rights Walkway. So Councillors Ruth Kovac and Gita Burkle will now read the inscription on the plaque.
Irwin Cotler is a human rights lawyer, constitutional law professor, and parliamentarian who earned the designation of Counsel for the Oppressed for the promotion and protection of human rights around the world. In quotations, my father spoke of the pursuit of justice as being equal to all other commandments combined. My mother said that if you want to pursue justice, you have to understand, feel the injustice about you, and combat that injustice. For the last 5 decades, Irwin Cotler has devoted his intellectual and advocacy skills to the pursuit of justice around the world, first as an international human rights lawyer, and later as a Member of Parliament for Mount Royal, and Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, where he made the pursuit and international justice a government priority. Professor Cotler has served as counsel to prisoners of conscience, including Andrei Sakharov and Natan Sharansky from the former Soviet Union, Nelson Mandela from South Africa, Jacobo Timmerman from Latin America, Professor Saad Eddin Ibrahim from Egypt, Nobel Peace Laureate Liu Xiaobo, China, and others. Yes, hi. Irwin, I don't know if you saw the picture, but it is really impressive. If you have a chance afterwards, you come up and see this photo that we have on this plaque. It's very powerful, extremely powerful. Okay, where do I start? En tant que parlementaire, il a présidé le groupe interparlementaire pour les droits de la personne en Iran, le groupe interparlementaire pour la justice pour Sergei Magnitsky et la coalition parlementaire multipartite pour sauver le Darfour. Devenu ministre de la Justice du Canada en 2003, le professeur Cotler entreprend de réformer le processus de nomination de la Cour suprême et contribuer à en faire la Cour suprême la plus représentative des 2 sexes au monde. Il dépose le tout premier projet de loi visant à criminaliser la traite de personnes, human trafficking. Il élabore la première loi à accorder le droit au mariage aux couples de même sexe et il annule plus de condamnations injustifiées en une seule année que tout ministre avant lui. Le professeur Cotler est un éducateur émérite qui a enseigné à des générations d'étudiants en droit, and he taught me as well. I was one of his students at l'Université McGill, Harvard et autres. Il est récipiendaire de 11 doctorats honorifiques de l'Ordre du Canada, du prix du président de l'Association du barreau canadien, la médaille de centenaire de la Fondation internationale Raoul Wallenberg, et il a été nommé parlementaire canadien de l'année par ses pairs en 2014. Comme le rappelait Irwin Cotler au moment où il s'est apprêté à entrer en politique, l'ancien Premier ministre Pierre Trudeau, who's also in this photograph, lui avait donné le conseil suivant. And he said it just a few minutes ago, and I'm going to repeat it now in French. Vous pouvez faire des compromis sur des questions de politique, mais jamais sur des principes. L'engagement immuable du professeur Cotler envers les principes de justice et de droits de la personne demeure une source d'inspiration pour tous. Merci.